back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. On today's video, we're going to be working on a couple of areas in my apartment and doing a little bit of an apartment transformation. I've been having a lot of ideas of little things that I want to incorporate and little touches that I want to do throughout my space, and I thought I would put all of those ideas into one video for you guys and share with you the process and all the changes that I'm planning on making to my apartment. There's a couple of smaller projects and some really big ones that I cannot wait for you guys to see, but we're gonna start with the smaller ones and work our way up. I'm super excited to share this with you guys, so make sure to stick all the way to the end to see how all the projects turned out. But let's just get right into it and I'll show you the first project. The first project that we're going to be tackling in this video is actually here in my kitchen. Now, I usually don't show you guys too much of my kitchen just because design-wise, there is not much going on. I have a nice simple runner from Leloy. I have some paintings up on this wall, and I do have the DIY backsplash that I did behind my oven and stovetop, and I love the way that DIY turned out. I used little stick-on tiles from the dollar section of Target, and I think it came out super cool. That was one of the first DIYs I did in the space a long time ago when I moved in here. However, today I wanted to add some charm into the kitchen and maybe add some vintage elements and some warmth. The cabinet is painted this light gray, which I am not a huge fan of, but I've learned to live with it. However, it does make the space feel a little bit colder. So today we're going to be adding some warmth through some decorative elements and touches. On this wall right here where I have the paintings, you can actually kind of see already some screws because I have been playing around with this idea. The other day when I went to Santa Barbara, I actually found this brass towel rod and I thought it would look beautiful in the kitchen to add some decorative elements hanging from it. I love incorporating brass into any of my spaces, and when I did my fall decorating video, I actually showed you guys this brass rod. I found it at an antique store again in Santa Barbara, and I was obsessed with it. It is unlacquered brass, so I just love the look, and I felt like it was gonna look beautifully under the two paintings right here, just to add a bit of warmth and some decorative elements. So let's just hang this right up and I'll show you guys what we're gonna be hanging from it. So I just put two simple screws in there. I didn't want to use nails because it is a little bit heavy, and I added some hooks on the back, and we're just gonna hang it right there. Simple as that. Now, for styling this piece, I wanted to actually keep everything very warm and incorporate some metals and tones that would bring that kind of like warmer tones into the space. So, for example, the brass. Then I went to Walmart and I actually found this 12-pack of shower curtain hooks. They're like S hooks. This was so cheap. This was actually $4 for the 12-pack. If you try to look on Amazon for S hooks, for brass rods, they're usually a little bit more expensive. And I actually just spray painted them gold using some Rust-Oleum spray paint, and they turned out so good. And then I included a little bit of kind of like antiquing touches with some black paint, and I feel like that just matches perfectly with the rod. So these are the hooks that we're going to be using to hang the decorative elements. Now for styling, I want to show you guys the pieces that I found. First is this simple little towel that I got from Threshold. I love the warmer yellow colors and the incorporating of like kind of like that gingham and stripe pattern. So I love it, and I felt like this would incorporate those warmer shades that I really want in the space. Then I have just two simple measuring cups, but I liked the kind of like brassy copper shade that the actual cups had, and then the warmer wood tones. I felt like this would incorporate warmth so beautifully, and they fit perfectly into the little S hook. And then lastly, again, keeping everything super minimal, I have had this basket from an antique store for a long time. I found this at a beautiful antique shop in Florida that I love going to, and I just have some faux florals. I've been having those in there for a long time, but I felt like incorporating this kind of like wooden woven basket material is gonna bring a lot of visual interest and more dimension into the space. So let's just hang everything right up and see how it looks styled. All right, you guys, for this next one, I am right now at the fabric store. I'm gonna pick up some fabrics. This is the location where I'm at. I'm super excited because there's a specific fabric that I've been looking for a while, and I saw it on one of Lone Fox's videos that he got it at this store. So hopefully I can find it, fingers crossed. This is the one that I was looking for, you guys. It's definitely the one I'm taking for one of the projects, and then I'm gonna look for one more. But I love this one. First time I saw this was at Emma Roberts' house, I believe, in her AD tour. Period. All right, you guys, so I've made it back home. Let me show you once again. The first one that I picked up was at the first location, and it's this beautiful, beautiful fabric. It kind of looks like quilted, but it isn't. It's so beautiful though. I love the texture. I love the pattern. I think this is gonna look incredible in the project. I'm gonna explain to you guys right now. All right, so right over by the living room, I have this green console table that I actually DIY'd not that long ago, about a year ago, I want to say. I found it for free on Facebook Marketplace, and I restored it. I painted it this beautiful green and did the brass handles. And as you can see, it has some glass panels on the doors right here. And I put some like contact paper to make it look kind of like fluted glass. But I really want to put the fabric inside the glass to have it kind of like peeking through. I feel like that's gonna add such a nice kind of like custom look and add that visual interest and texture. I feel like as it is right now, it's a little bit just boring, and I felt like it needed something. So I'm just probably gonna cut up the fabric onto the shape that it needs to be, the size, and maybe burn the edges so that they won't fray. But that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna use a staple gun to staple it to the back of the doors, and that's it. It's such an easy DIY, but I think it's gonna have a really big impact. So let's just go ahead and do it. So just to explain really quickly how I did this, I removed the doors from the console so that it would be easier for me to work with. And you'll see that I ended up putting the fabric in front of the glass instead of behind, because the glass ended up being polarized, which really darkened the fabric. And I really wanted the fabric to shine through. So that's why I put it at the front. I moved around the fabric to see where exactly I wanted the pattern to shine through and cut it up. I ended up taping it in the back, kind of like the back of a painting when you frame it and you put tape to secure it. It is not the prettiest look from behind, but at the end of the day, I'm the only one that's gonna see it. But the glass ended up being super secure, and I think the final result looks beautiful. All right, so I just finished putting back up that one door. It was a little complicated, but look at that before and after right there. I love the way it looks. I love the texture that it adds, the pattern. It's so pretty, and it goes beautifully with the green of the console table. It took me a little bit to figure it out how to put the pattern, if I wanted it behind the glass, if I wanted it in front of the glass, if I wanted to just take off the glass completely. At the end, I think that the way that I did it is the most structured way. Maybe the back doesn't look the prettiest, but I only see that when I open it to like grab a DVD or turn on one of the consoles that's down there. But I love the way it looks. I'm super happy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other one and show you guys. All right, you guys, for this next project, we're actually going to be tackling the curtains behind me. So right now I have the very generic plastic shades that come with most renter apartments here in LA. And I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to take these off and swap them for some nice drape curtains. And I have the perfect opportunity because Smart Wings actually reached out to me to work and collaborate on today's video. And they actually sent over some custom drapery that I'm so excited to put up and show you guys. I cannot wait to see how they look in the space. They are actually smart blinds, which can be controlled by a remote or by voice. I chose the option that you can control with your Apple HomePod because I have the mini HomePod from Apple, so I can control it with Siri. So this is the perfect opportunity. I can't wait to see how they work. Let me give you guys the stats and specifics of the curtains that we got just before I set them up. So I have here the stats. Let me read this to you guys. So I got the Smart Wings motorized drapery. They're the 90% blackout option. They also have some more sheer and darker options. I have the color wheat for the fabric. I felt like this was the perfect shade to go against the white walls. It would contrast beautifully and add a little bit more warmth into the space. I got so for the measurement standards, I measured from wall to wall. Everything is super easy on their website. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, it will be linked down below. It guides you step by step on how to measure everything to make sure that your custom curtains come perfect to you. In terms of my measurements, I got the 98 inches by 98 because that's the size of my wall and how big I wanted them. I got the two-way opening, which means it opens from the middle to both sides instead of from one side to the other, because I really wanted just that opening to be from the center. For the motor type, this is very important. There's a bunch of options for the kind of motor that you can get. I got the Matter motor over thread, which is again the one that you can control with your Apple HomePod, but there's options for Alexa with Amazon and other more simple options. Motors that you can only be controlled with the remote. Then I got it with a valance. The valance is the little rectangle fabric piece that goes at the very top to cover the railing. It's kind of like a header. I think it just makes the whole thing look a little bit more polished and finished off. For the remote controller, I got the 5-channel remote. I believe they have an option for 15 channels, but since I only have that one curtain, the 5-channel remote was perfect for me. And I got the 118-inch power cable, which is the extension cord that runs from the motor. The reason why I got that 118 inches because my ceilings are pretty high. I believe it's about 10 feet in here. So I got the 118-inch cord because it runs from the motor at the ceiling all the way to my closest outlet, which is right down here. And finally, I got no extension bracket, and that's it. Yeah. So it's super easy. I'm gonna leave the link down below if you guys want to check Smart Wings out. But thank you, Smart Wings, so much for sending these over. I can't wait to open it up and check it out. I'm gonna do a time lapse of my friends and I actually hanging these. It's not a tutorial on how to use them because it is the first time, so we're gonna have to play around with it a little bit. But I did look over the pamphlet and it looks relatively easy. Hopefully it won't take us too long, but let's just get on started, head on over to the time lapse and hang these up right now. I'm so excited. All right, you guys, we're still setting it up. As always, it's proving to be a little more difficult than we thought. The walls here are not perfect. So it takes a lot of finessing, but we're doing this. Hopefully we'll make it. So here we're just mounting the L brackets to then be able to attach the rod to and the motor. The next day I had to finish by myself, so the only thing that was left was to put the balance and hang the actual drapery. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, you guys, after 2 days of working on it, the curtains are finally up. I will say that it was a very challenging process. Yesterday, Christian and Ashley came to help me, and we were able to tackle a lot of it. We were able to put the mounting brackets and the actual curtain rod already up. But today I have to finish it by myself, and it was very challenging. I will say that the manual could maybe include a couple more details and a little bit more help. There were a couple of things that I have to kind of like guess and figure out that the manual wasn't extremely specific on. So do have that in mind if you do order these. If you can hire someone or get friends or family to help you out, definitely do so, because it would be very hard to do it by yourself. So definitely recommend asking for help and trying to look up info online as much as possible in setting this kind of curtains up. But the process was 100% worth it. I love the way it turned out. I'm going to show it to you guys right now. I will say that I left the plastic blinds behind on just for privacy reasons. That way I'm going to show it to you guys with the blinds, and then you can kind of picture it without. Also, right behind me I added the remote control mount on the wall, and it's so sleek. I love the design. It blends in with the wall perfect, so it doesn't stick out too much. I love the way it looks. Super sleek design. And let me show you guys right now how the curtains work. This is what they're looking like. I love it. I love the way the balance looks at the top. It makes it look super finished and elegant, and the drapery feels amazing, you guys. The way it hangs, everything I think looks so spectacular. But let me just stop talking and show you guys the curtains in action. Right, you guys, and that is gonna be it for today's video. I had so much fun making this one. I am so happy with how everything turned out. I am obsessed with the automatic curtains. I've been using them for about a week now, and they work so wonderfully, super smoothly, and I could not be happier with them. Thank you so much to Smart Wings for sending these over. Make sure you guys to go check them out. I will leave the link in the description box down below if you are interested. But I loved all of the projects that we did today. I think the console table turned out beautifully. I'm in love with the fabric that I was able to find, and then of course the brass rod in the kitchen. Such a small change that made such a huge impact in that small space. But that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite project was in today's video, what your favorite little transformation was. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and you guys can hit the bell button to be notified every single time I make a new upload, and that way you guys don't miss any of my videos. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.